end like this? Why it gotta end like this? It's just got to be my motherfucking heart. Why it gotta end like this? It's just got to. Why it gotta end like this? Why it gotta end like this? It's just got to be my motherfucking heart. Why it gotta end like this? Stop lying, you never loved me. Hung me from nooses off the plum tree. Call me Indian when this is a Mexican, the land of the Moors. Slave history is really yours. You know I'm your master. Slave came from Slav. I was the have, and you made me not have. Brown calling me black, put my name in all caps, and all cards I get from you. And plus some knew I couldn't be a citizen of corporate men created jurisdiction. Live in a fiction. I realized the matrix you got me mixed in. When I realized the Bible doesn't mention Christians. Having said ho be a hoe, taught me about these vixens. You taught me lies and truth distorted. Listen, attempts at taking my mind, your mission aborted. Kick rocks, time to forfeit, and watch me orbit. Why it gotta end like this? Why it gotta end like this? It's just got to leave my motherfucking heart. Why it gotta end like this? It's just got to. You asking me questions, man? Why it gotta end like this? Why it gotta end like this? It's just got to leave my motherfucking heart. Why it gotta end like this? Yo, stop lying. You work for the enemy, that's quite traitorous and conspiratory. I heard your story, but it seems I suffer, you get the glory. Got me on the front line doing things gory. Marching with Boule Negroes doing nothing for me. Killed Malik L, Malcolm Shabazz, you bore me. Brainwash launching. Often, research Kendrick Johnson, case closed like a coffin. Khalid Muhammad said he's a Moor and ends up dead. Now the I'm black epidemic is widespread. Not knowing themselves, but thinking they do. Following agents and sellouts, working with Jesuits too. They tell you it's new, but it's your old world order. The Moors and Jews were dark-skinned, slew and slaughtered. Even Stevie told you in misrepresented people to never be a misrepresented people. Gotta end like this. Why I gotta end like this? It's just got to leave my motherfucking heart. Why I gotta end like this? It's just got to. Why I gotta end like this? Why I gotta end like this? It's just got to leave my motherfucking heart. Why I gotta end like this? It's over. I'm not playing your race games, face same as my ancestors, I know my name. I didn't come here on a slave ship, I've been in this land. I'm not your ward or minor, you overstand? It's over, I'm not playing your race games, face same as my ancestors, I know my name. I didn't come here on a slave ship, I've been in this land. I'm not your ward or your minor, you overstand, it's over. Why I gotta end like this? Why I gotta end like this? It's just got to leave my motherfucking heart. Why I gotta end like this? It's just got to. Why I gotta end like this? Why I gotta end like this? It's just got to leave my motherfucking heart. Why I gotta end like this?
Circle 7 music.
Everyone wanna just rap nowadays. No content, just crap nowadays. Piercing the lips with tats on their face. Cross on foreheads with a push gauge. Marley's kills more brain cells. Street doors revolve, makes them stay in cells. No service hours, you're doing dead time in a cellar with a fellow with parking fines. What's the world coming to? Not to an end, but an end for those that can't comprehend. Those that can't think or use faculties with no nationality with these casualties. King Albert plan victims take here like the Jews under Hitler, but vapor. No ashes, the masses. No suit, no wake, no funeral, no casket. Beat cops with masks, riot gear tell. 84 prophecy of George Orwell. We living on an animal farm, can't you see it's blatant? Zombies are doctors' patients. True shot takers high off a vaccine. So high thinking liquor is Listerine. Then doing dumb shit, mindset warp like wetwood. No cars around but they rep hoods. Rep big gas, but babies get clapped. Not the ones sinning, giving back claps. Not reconstructed, changing maps. Or fake governments imposing acts. Or the ones selling horse meat and snacks in black, it's only darkness, light lack. Third eye blind, sight lack. Watch it crash when the empire strikes back.
What's wrong with this world? Many falling down the wrong trail, but all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hells that we are serving ourselves. What's wrong with this world? Many falling down the wrong trail, but all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hells that we are serving ourselves.
Eternal inflation, the cause of mind devastation. Hear what I'm saying? The problem is based in creating life imitation. Only for those that overstand. Let us observe the ancients of Egypt. Walk lightly, going forward with this book. Symmetry declares I've O2 in air. DT's position, 3 triangles there. Word escape ears, all good already there. A kind man of overstanding is what I share. But Iron Sheik speak truth from what he teach. Frequency and range, blast out to mouth peak. I left the block physical and now telepathy. Born wisdom, life a game of chess till we free. Life is essence, calculate with care. What's wrong with this world? Survive it if you dare.
What's wrong with this world? Many falling down the wrong trail, but all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hells that we are serving ourselves. What's wrong with this world? Many falling down the wrong trail, but all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hells that we are serving ourselves.
Minds lost or gone, don't know where it is. Youth act like animals from being called kids. Guns to the fans said they're shooting off lids. So with heavy metal more louder than Skid Row. Jeans and pants tight with swag like Cisco. Love for nanny bad, but where dicks go. Get them signed to labels that extort innocence from those innocents and bought views and abuse. Rap game is church. Executives play with balls like Nerf. Stimulating bass chakras, hot like the turf. Soul selling out, not knowing what it's worth. Rich rappers pass, they clutching their purse. Youth lifestyle nowadays in a hearse. Thinks life's a movie, this ain't Skyfall. Faces were bad, now they pass with eyeballs. Everybody's piercing, strain of faces. Unconscious more, stop claiming races. Claim a place, don't claim a state. Those are plantations, no frame or base. Disgrace and wonder why we are disgraced. Asking why am I part of this race? That I never win, seems we never won. We fight each other, using their guns. But when they fight, they using our sons. In wars, never near, always far ones. We'll learn, just need to get scarred ones. From ear to chin, stay out the bin. Stay off the corner, learn the hard way. Real killers don't cross over like Hardaway. Stay off the corner, learn the hard way. Real killers don't cross over like Hardaway.
What's wrong with this world? Many falling down the wrong trail, but all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hells that we are serving ourselves. What's wrong with this world? Many falling down the wrong trail, but all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hells that we are serving ourselves. What's wrong with this world? Many falling down the wrong trail, but all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hells that we are serving ourselves. What's wrong with this world? Many falling down the wrong trail, but all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hells that we are serving ourselves.
Talking, never ever doing. Facts in your face, blacks never cluing. Fortress gate on your mind, you won't let you in. Blame outside yourself, worldly life ruined. Emotion bubbles and troubles, volcano mouth spewing. Left flat like Montserrat when democracy moving. Vaporization at female welfare centers. Get blasted as you enter, won't get to spend a cent or a dollar. I guarantee you won't even holler or feel it. Stiff from shock, bystanders won't believe it. Hammers cock, G20 scene. Corral the shadow like herds of cattle. Wasting energy, struggling not for battles. Pointing fingers, complaining about conditions that you help to implement and put yourself in. Trust, put your wealth in. No rush, don't procrastinate, cause they stealthing. Liquidating government assets called wards to conquer. I guarantee the pen's mightier than swords. Saying they know God, but calling her him and Lord. Make you pill pop, then call diseases cured.
Ain't no rest for the righteous, so I might just. Ain't no rest for the righteous, so I might just. Ain't no rest for the righteous, so I might just. Ain't no rest for the righteous, so I might just.
Yeah, it's a matrix. Act Sophia Stewart. Prevention is better, I won't be in those courts. Color of office and authority, pushing de facto laws. Smashing your eye socket and crack your jaw. Misprisoner treason and acts of war and fraud. In places so high, even through the gates of God. As my cup runneth over, ancestors poured. My soul is the shore where my thoughts are more. My lines beautiful like my goddess facial contour. Or ugly like a wild boar, I cry and shout, or your face after a taste of the iron claw. I wonder if these heads will ever be ready. Will they stop chasing and conserve energy? Probably not, cause they high off the kush pot. The no seed weed will most definitely shrivel up your seeds on the spot. Your flow is like a hot pot with diarrhea squirts. Wearing tight ass pants and extra small shirts. Conscious cools, mental wrestling, black power jerks. Talk bad about master but accept his perks.
Ain't no rest for the righteous, so I might just. Ain't no rest for the righteous, so I might just. Ain't no rest for the righteous, so I might just. Ain't no rest for the righteous, so I might just.
Dreamy and drooling, falling for the fooling. Mental slaves sell out or get bought out for cooning. Being your example to follow with no strain. Meant means mind, so govern and entertain is more than you imagine. Carbon is melanin, Quran and Bible angels are cherubim and seraphim. Riding on the light angles, traveling at warp speed. We created crossbreeds, now we can't walk free. The mind is the plantation, everything is mental. Even filling your brother with lead like a pencil. Mercenaries with chalk use bodies as a stencil. If rival gangs won't stop you, barbed wire fence will. It could take more, but it might take less. Cursing your God on Job's cash in the fake checks. Spending fake monopoly money, counterfeit at best. When you see something is wrong, you need to counter as best as you can. You don't need a magic wand or to clip your heels twice to escape dreamland. Just use your mind. If you can't relate, you're living in an illusion, slave to the dream state. Just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state. As Negro and black, we act like we can't see straight. Shaken by the shoulders, waking from their dream state. If you just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state. As Negro and black, we act like we can't see straight. Shaken by their shoulders, waking from their dream state. Invasion. Drew Ali, my water when the fire starts blazing. Running with the holy buckets, the Caucasian. While Asiatics daydreaming, mental stargazing. Not paying attention, but paying taxes and fines. Nas said the world is yours, he really meant mine. If I ruled the world, you wouldn't want to be black. You wouldn't want to be a deadbeat dad or be white for sure. You wouldn't want to be the dirty moral leader, convicted and facing my firing squad either. You won't be put in a box, forget the cedar. Taking tires off cars at unexpired meters. If I ruled the world, dirty Moors would hate it. Find them with their wrists slit in bathrooms naked. Find them holding scimitar handles slumped over with suicide notes to Jehovah. If you just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state. As Negro and black, we act like we can't see straight. Shaken by the shoulders, waking from their dream state. If you just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state. As Negro and black, we act like we can't see straight. Shaken by their shoulders, waking from their dream state. Dream a little dream, wake up from the nightmare. Dream a big dream, live your life in fright, scared to change. When everything that grows must do such or stay stagnant. Living your life as a pageant, made of faces with eyeliner and makeup, created by the same ones you call racist. Wake up, allow their dignity and exercise patience. Don't shock them too hard with electrifying statements. Everything cloudy, mind acting rowdy, hypnotized by Pied Piper, signing rap ungodlies. Having so much influence, youths won't pull their pants up. Looking like a jailbird, begging for some handcuffs. In a dream state, getting grants up for freedom. Fiat is a slave to banks, you better see them. No different than the people are slaves to brand names. Move from dream to reality, change the landscape. He started from the top, don't listen to your man Drake. Only till clan hates and Masonic handshakes don't work. Moors are back, do your homework and assignments. Realize Moorish is the science. You just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state. As Negro and black, we act like we can't see straight. Shaken by the shoulders, waking from their dream state. If you just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state. As Negro and black, we act like we can't see straight. Shaken by their shoulders, waking from their dream state.
Like Taj said, you know what I mean? We're on an alternate timeline right now.
AI hijacked the organic reality. Yeah, thanks. Look at me, everybody.
It's been 100 and few years since Juali appeared. Now they wear umbrellas for turbans, weaves of hair. They wanna be a goddess of nature and hug a tree, recording themselves, showing camel toes. Look at me, always posing. Got the air fired and dozing. Dog clothes, new airs, wear second-hand clothing. Carrying your poodle, making your children crawl. Always on social media, children belly a ball.
Like Taj said, you know what I mean? We're on an alternate timeline right now. AI hijacked the organic reality. Yeah, thanks. Look at me, everybody.
It's been 100 and few years since Juali appeared. Now they wear umbrellas for turbans, weaves of hair. They wanna be a goddess of nature and hug a tree, recording themselves, showing camel toes. Look at me, always posing. Got the air fired and dozing. Dog clothes, new airs, wear second-hand clothing. Carrying your poodle, making your children crawl. Always on social media, children belly a ball. Their nails always dirty, their hair uncombed. Lazy and fat toxicians, lawn unmowed. 5 baby daddies, 6 baby mothers. 9 years of suffering won't wake a brother. You sleep too much, is what Juali said. Only fans in a thong with the baby on the bed, asking mom, why you doing this, acting like a whore. Pause the striptease, kick him out and close the door. Go back on camera, twerk and look at me. Twirling on a pole with your daughter, that's a he. He feels like a girl cause no dad around. Calling himself matriarch, wrap a sash around. Money phone and pics, throwing cash around. In front of your ears by Negroes, getting slapped around. Big shades to hide bruises on live she cruises. For heirs learn bad behavior, making excuses. Take responsibility from parents, they learn rudeness. Wise inherit honor, shame is claimed by foolish. Mind manipulated mothers, excessive demands. Heirs looking uncomfortable, twerking on the gram. Lying ass parents say it's an African dance. Making man prance under the hypnotic trance. Mind overblown, they should be the throne. Look at me, Medusa, turn your dumbass to a stone.
Look at me, everybody. T&I-G, that's lame. Look at me, everybody. T&I-G, that's lame, y'all. Look at me, everybody. T&I-G, that's lame. Look at me, everybody. T&I-G, that's lame, y'all. Growing up on the tech side, digital sex side, keyboards collide, it's all job, hands bounce on keypad. Getting big mad in real life, just bounce like white pads. As time passed, move fast, digital alien. 5, 6, 7 cents, got it by 4 element. Magnetic gradient, matrix sucking your blood. Unplug, great again, go play in the mud. 5 minutes of fame, assault, feedogram love. Criminal creation, thief the next man's stuff. I'm almanac, that's an original one. Like Taj said, you know what I mean? We're on an alternate timeline right now. AI hijacked the organic reality. Yeah, thanks. Look at me, everybody.
It's been 100 and few years since Juali appeared. Now they wear umbrellas for turbans, weaves of hair. They wanna be a goddess of nature and hug a tree, recording themselves, showing camel toes. Look at me, always posing. Got the air fired and dozing. Dog clothes, new airs, wear second-hand clothing. Carrying your poodle, making your children crawl. Always on social media, children belly a ball. Their nails always dirty, their hair uncombed. Lazy and fat toxicians, lawn unmowed. 5 baby daddies, 6 baby mothers. 9 years of suffering won't wake a brother. You sleep too much, is what Juali said. Only fans in a thong with the baby on the bed, asking mom, why you doing this, acting like a whore. Pause the striptease, kick him out and close the door. Go back on camera, twerk and look at me. Twirling on a pole with your daughter, that's a he. He feels like a girl cause no dad around. Calling himself matriarch, wrap a sash around. Money phone and pics, throwing cash around. In front of your ears by Negroes, getting slapped around. Big shades to hide bruises on live she cruises. For heirs learn bad behavior, making excuses. Take responsibility from parents, they learn rudeness. Wise inherit honor, shame is claimed by foolish. Mind manipulated mothers, excessive demands. Heirs looking uncomfortable, twerking on the gram. Lying ass parents say it's an African dance. Making man prance under the hypnotic trance. Mind overblown, they should be the throne. Look at me, Medusa, turn your dumbass to a stone.
Look at me, everybody. T&I-G, that's lame. Look at me, everybody. T&I-G, that's lame, y'all. Look at me, everybody. T&I-G, that's lame.
Look at me, everybody, TNRG, that's lame, y'all. Growing up on the tech side, digital sex side, keyboards collide, it's all job, hands bounce on keypad. Getting big mad in real life, just bounce like white pads. Time pass, move fast, digital alien, 5, 6, 7 cents, got it by for element, magnetic gradient, matrix sucking your blood, unplug, great again, go play in the mud. 5 minutes of fame, ass out, feedogram love, criminal creation, thief the next man's stuff. I'm Exxon Almanac, that's an original one. 5 maps to spread facts like a scientist does. I'm on the land, that's exactly where Lemuria was. Astral project zap, how did Buzz show up? Did he come out of lamp on a flying rug? From Atlantis, Mike Master with a saber that cuts. Look at me, everybody, P&IG, that's lame. Look at me, everybody, tweeting IG, that's lame, y'all. Look at me, everybody, tweeting IG, that's lame. Look at me, everybody, tweeting IG, that's lame, y'all. Look at me. Tweeting IG, that's lame. Look at me, everybody, tweeting IG, that's lame, y'all.
We gotta have laws, man. We gotta enact. I mean, aren't we L's and Bays? Aren't Bays and L's the law givers and all this? Well, then let's exercise it, please. Because our laws is not based on, like, you know, how the prophet said that the grand sheiks are to enact laws. Yeah, well, that's within the temple. But the temple is under the jurisdiction of the United States. You know what the temple needs to be? The name needs to be changed to? Moorish Temple of Morocco.
You're right.
Right. This is how far they're willing to go. Change Noble Drew Ali's stuff in order to push their little agenda. How dare these turban, fez-wearing, so-called Moors say that Noble Drew Ali's name of the temple should be changed to Moorish Temple of Morocco. And then you're going to see how many jackasses run over there to go play when they start playing that game. Because don't forget, that was a plug for some stuff that they're probably going to do a year from now. You hear them, see them pop up with the new thing. Moorish Temple of Morocco. Remember where you heard it first. Right, that was their plug. So we're letting you know, so when it drops then, that you realize that these people are playing games. Because how dare, these people haven't done 1% of what Noble Drew Ali brought. And they're talking about Drew Ali's name should change. And not even that it should change because he did it. They're the ones. These are the same people that we just told you about. That the whole agenda is to get you away from Noble Drew Ali and put you everywhere else. Once you're everywhere else, perfect. It's endgame. The only thing they don't want you to know about is Noble Drew Ali and what he brought. Everything else, they play games with you all day, every day. All day, every day. This is how far they're willing to go. While, 20 Moors who are serious about this nationality and birthrights and all that stuff, they're keeping this thing going. It seems like everybody done sold out. it seems like everybody said, forget what Drew Ali brought. You're going to go over here and we're going to do our own thing over here. They don't even give him honors. They're saying his stuff should be changed. They're saying the temple is under U.S. How is something indigenous under a colonizer? How? How does a colonizer have jurisdiction in something indigenous? That, so indigenous, that at the first convention, Noble Drew Ali said that the Moorish Science Temple was organized to play a useful and defining part in the advancement of the sacred obligation of American citizenship. He didn't say U.S. citizenship. He said American citizenship. Why? Because we're descendants of Moroccans born in America. And there's other Americans here that they've been had their own leader, they've been had their own flag, they've been had their own coat of arms, they've been had their own language, they've been had their own favorite food, and they've been being themselves. And everybody's waiting for these dumbasses above Mexico to wake up. And it seems like the brainwash is real. Because they're not waking up. They love sleep. So, like you say, the 20 Moors are just going to hold this together until, whoever's next up to bat. Just like the ones before us just held it up until who's next up to bat. Then, all right. Okay, I could put this. I could take a little rest. I've been holding this stuff up by myself forever. Right? This is what Drew Ali did for the Moors. And these people are talking about make up their own stuff instead of just getting down what Drew Ali brought. Prophet Drew Ali said that the Moorish Science Temple of America was organized to play a useful and defined part in the advancement of the sacred obligation of American citizenship, as the Moorish Divine National Movement was founded for the uniting of the Asiatic states of North America on May 1st, 1916, as this will have been our very first, hold on a second. Let's stop for a sec. Let's just go back for a second. Just go back for a second. As the Moorish Divine National Movement was founded for the uniting of the Asiatic states of North America. What's that? What are the Asiatic states of North America? Every single one of these temples that these people are playing, that is some religious thing now. The sacred obligation of American citizenship was you going through the jurisdiction of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Proclaim your nationality, get your ID, and now you're part of the nation. That's 1920s. Chinese were part of Moorish Science Temple of America. Why? Why are they part of that for? Why are Turks part of Moorish Science Temple? Why are Japanese part of Moorish Science Temple? The same reason why Negro, Black, Colored are part of Ahmadiyya movement or Nation of Islam or whatever else. But the difference is that one of them is talking about nationality. And all these other ones are talking about fictions. And you realize that none of the other nations joined those nigger black stuff. But they were drawing the Moorish Science Temple in the 20s. The Asiatic states of North America would be those Moorish science temples that they were already popping up all over. 15 different states had them in the 20s. How much would have it now? If 15 states had it in the 20s at that rate, 15 states in the 20s. This Moor has a headquarters in Chicago, and there's 15 states that have that. How big do you think that would be now if that kept going from then to now? You see how they sold you out? Hung you out to dry. You already had your Asiatic states. You already had your government. You already had your governor, your prime whatever, your pres whatever, your secretary of whatever, your treasury whatever. Everything was what? How is this a religious? How is this a religious corporation? It's a religious corporation, but they have manufacturing companies and all that. You know, sermons going on. Do you see pictures of anything other than a convention with Moors? Picture of Havana, Cuba. Picture of Juali in the office. Other than that, it's convention pictures. There's the other pictures. Tell me, people were taking one picture. Oh yeah, convention picture, and that's it. We don't take any. We don't took any more pictures. '20s. '1920s. And these people, these Johnny-come-latelys, dare say that they have something better than Noble Drew Ali. Noble Drew Ali was in 15 states in the 1920s. How much states these people in right now? How many? As this will have been our very first convention and most interesting one ever held in this city. It was featured by delegates from 15 states, from local branch temples and subordinate temples, which have been established for the uplifting of fallen humanity. You heard what it's established for? It's not established to play trust games. And Noble Drew Ali has a trust, and then you got to connect yourself to that because the 101 and so don't get overboard. It was established for the uplifting of fallen humanity. Once you are doing it for the uplifting of fallen humanity, now you can talk about, yes, we have this temple over here, and then we have this meeting over here, and then we have these things that we do, and we have this is how we exercise our culture as Moors. The foundation of this, if they're saying Moorish, I don't care what they're calling themselves, is uplifting fallen humanity, because nobody was saying Moorish, and we're Moors before Drew Ali. So that's the timeline, and you have to deal with it, because there ain't nobody else you're gonna go research and find that was saying you're not Negro, black, colored, you're Moors, and that you have a nationality. And this is what your nationality is. You're Moorish American, descendants of Moroccans born in America. So you could have Asiatic states, because this is self-governance. This is why Noble Drew Ali said to the Moors, divine constitution and bylaws and all that. Because it's government. Governing your mental. Governing your mental. Until you govern the mental, you're not going to be a state or a nation. And that's what 101s are. 101s are for you to govern the mental, have the mental go in a specific direction, because we've been lost. We thought we knew something. You didn't know shit. Shut the hell up. Taking what Noble Drew Ali brought you. I don't care how much books you read. Who's Noble Drew Ali? Well, I don't know. I heard that. And you can't even talk anymore. You're disqualified. You go, all these Europeans and Arabs and whoever like that, and all of them know who Noble Drew Ali is. Regardless of what their opinion is of him or whatever like that. Oh yeah, they know about him. They know about Noble Drew Ali. They definitely know about him. It's one of these dummies in North America. Do you know? What is this established for? Uplifting fallen humanity. These same dummies. But remember, it's only going to be a handful saved with fingers left over. So we don't need all of them dummies. 2 of those dummies are going to do what it is that we need to get done. Because it's only going to be a handful saved. Everybody's not chipping in to build the ark. People are going to be chilling, sunbathing and all that, the thong on. Yeah, we're just going to get this sun or whatever. While the ark's getting built. And then water's up to their neck. Then they want to start talking about. They want to start talking about something. Why you wait till water's up to your neck before you say something? Maybe not wait till water's up to your neck. Maybe when it's by your ankles, say something. During this, our first convention, in sessions specific of general work and civil accomplishments, were reported by the grand sheikhs of each branch temple and subordinate temple, as each grand sheikh was required to give a report of his temple and the governor, and in the continued growth and development of this divine movement, as each grand sheikh gave their report about the growth of business and enterprises of the example of collective efforts, show that the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America and their leaders have enacted a sound economic program and are blazing the trail and making the pathway over which our posterity can travel unhampered and unafraid. This isn't church when we say Moorish Science Temple. Well, we see those Moors over there. They were... Don't tell me about those Moors over there. Don't tell me about those Moors over there. If those Moors didn't connect with these Moors, then who are those Moors? We don't know those Moors. Don't put us in those categories with those Moors. Put me in category of Moors who I know. We'll put Moors in gossip categories. Because there are Moors who, they are grand sheiks for real. And they do have town halls and they do have meetings. And they do have the report that they do at the end of the 3 months or the... There's Moorish business and enterprises that have been going on for years. In the same example of collective effort, Moors working with Moors, just doing whatever the Moors do. Whatever it is that they do. Their business and their enterprises are an example of the unity that everybody keeps talking about. The Moors don't have unity, so we're not going to be down with that. No, there's collective effort at work, because there are Moors, like Noble Drew Ali said, that are with the Prophet today that were with him when the Prophet was around. There's people who are really in for the long haul, for the multiple lifetimes. If you're coming back here, make sure you come back as a Moor every time. If there's coming back here because whatever, okay, every time I come back here, come back as a Moor from the jump. Let's see how they deal with that. If there's coming back here. And think of economic program on multiple levels. Think of collective efforts on multiple levels, in multiple jurisdictions. It's not just Moorish only jurisdiction. The Moors civilized the world. So everyone should have access to what the Moors have. Whatever it is that the Moors have to offer, everybody should be accessing it. But it does start at home, in the continued growth and development of this divine movement. Right? He's talking on multiple levels at the same time. This is the Moorish Science Temple Convention, but they're talking about divine and national movement work. Because this is the inner workings of what's going on. This isn't the stuff that the public's getting. This is the convention of the Moors. This is the inside scoop. That you have the minutes of what was going down in the 20s with Noble Drew Ali. To know that anybody talking crazy about him, they're a liar. Think about all these other whoever's that have conventions. When they rent out the whatever convention center and do all their convention, whatever. Okay, think about something like that, but then it's just Moroccan flags in there, fezzes, turbans, and that's it. So know that all these things are interlocked. So you can't have people talking, oh yeah, the Moorish Science Temple, and then the Moorish Science Temple, this and that, and then they're not mentioning Moorish Divine National Movement. Then check them, they're probably suspect. And you can't have the divine movement people then saying, well, no, there's no Moorish Science Temple because this is just, about meditating and, you don't have to be part of the temple and all that. This is divine. You don't need the temple and whatever like that. Watch out for them people. These things are interlocked. Go check the picture. The Moorish Science Temple Convention. Moorish Divine and National Movement is being talked about at the Moorish Science Temple Convention. Divine and national movement founded for the uniting of the Asiatic states. The uniting of the Asiatic states. Why? Because of all the treason that was going on at the time. This is 20s. So by the late 20s, when there's convention, and Noble Drew Ali already knows who all the traitors are, put everybody on blast on Front Street at the convention by making all these proclamations to all governors, grand sheiks, head officials, and all of them. We already know what's up because we're adept chamber. Dummies aren't going to know what's up. And as we know, they got rid of Noble Drew Ali and took over the Moorish Divine National Movement. But because they weren't using it in the capacity, because if they start talking Moorish Divine National Movement, then they're going to have to make this be government again. This can't be some little go to church thing, call it Moorish Science Temple. Which is why you always hear them say Moorish Science Temple of America, and they don't mention Moorish Holy Temple of Science. They don't mention Moorish Divine and National Movement. They don't mention Moorish Nation or Moorish Empire. They're just Moorish Science Temple and that's it. Prophet Noble Drew Ali stated that it must also be kept in mind that no great movement can take definite shape in 2 or 3 years so as to be error-proof. Prophet Noble Drew Ali further stated, however, through accumulating experience, each annual convention ought to bear witness a more perfect and wider functioning organization, representing the organized experience of men and women members throughout the country and possibly in time the world over. And continuing, Prophet Drew Ali said, constructive criticism from sympathetic friends in and outside of our ranks is welcome. Now, if you think that Noble Drew Ali brought you some religious thing, so you don't got to deal with it because I'm not into this religion, because it's like a church and all that. Somebody played it. You better find you a temple and get connected ASAP. Because that's the only salvation. Being interlocked with Noble Drew Ali. What other way to be connected to Drew Ali than being a member of his organization? Why not? If Chinese and Turks and all of them are going to be members of it, then what the hell you got to lose? Because everything was laid out. The table was laid. Your favorite dish was there for you. Only you. You and your favorite dish just by yourself. And everybody had their favorite dish. Drew Ali took care of the Moors. He took care of Moors. And then they saw it and they were jealous of that fame and nobility. Immediately, they were jealous. Immediately. And remember, all that was to shut up these goofballs trying to tell you that Drew Ali didn't do something right or something like that. So they got something that's good for you. And they're going to go all around this thing and talk about Moors or subjects and all types of madness. Because they see or they read, they go to They go to citizenship of the United States. Letter from Secretary of State submitting report on the subject of citizenship, expatriation, and protection abroad. December 20th, 1906. Referred to the Committee on Foreign Affairs and ordered to be printed. American Legation, Tangier, August 3rd, 1906. There are, strictly speaking, no Moroccan laws relating to citizenship of Moorish subjects in Morocco. The fundamental laws of this non-Christian country are based entirely upon the Islamic code, no part of which treats of the subject of citizenship. Moorish subjects. Moorish subjects aren't Moors. Moorish subjects are foreigners. Moorish subjects aren't Moors who lost their nationality. Moors lose their nationality by claiming to be something that they're not. That's not legislation that did that. That's their dumbass that did that. Because they're claiming something that they're not. The corpse is just going with it by putting these forms and whatever in front of their face and having them fill them out and putting themselves into contracts that they don't have to go in. There are, however, numerous treaties and conventions between various Christian countries and the Moorish Empire, by means of which citizenship in this country is defined. But as I understand from the above acknowledged instructions that it is not the desire of the department to call for a report upon such lines, I will therefore confine these remarks to general conditions existing, which may possibly be of some use in connection with the information desired. 1. Citizenship in Morocco may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries, with the exception that all persons residing in Morocco who cannot prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso jure Moorish subjects. 2 and 3. Moorish subjects lost their nationality only by becoming naturalized in or protected by another country having treaty relations with the Moorish Empire. All that citizenship in Morocco and all that stuff, that has nothing to do with Moors. That's not Moorish. We were here before some 17 whatever treaty, right? We're here because of some treaty. We're Moors in America here. We weren't here before the treaty. Okay, so if we were here before the treaty, then what were we using? Oh, we weren't using some treaty. Oh, because the treaty was between Moors and some modern Europeans. Moors and some modern Europeans. Not all the Moors. Some Moors and the modern Europeans have a contract. And what Moors are in America now? As far as North America, that should be enforcing that treaty. But that's not our treaty. That's a treaty that some Moors did. Some Moors did that treaty with some modern Europeans. And they're still modern Europeans today. And then the people who are saying they did the treaty, they're not even in America. They're over there in Morocco, kingdom over there. And they're not using the treaty over there for over here. So then who's supposed to be dealing with the issues with this treaty if the party is not here? Because what Sultan guy should have did is send these Europeans to Europe or something. Why you sending them over here? Why you send them over there somewhere? And you see why they've been coming out talking BS about Moors and we're not Moroccan and all this. Because the game's up. Because we've been played on multiple levels by multiple parties. And still getting played. Why? Because Drawley already told you what's up. You're not Negro, black, colored. What did they tell you? Even Dred Scott case. Dred Scott case. Dred Scott case told you. The United States Supreme Court, led by Chief Justice Roger B. Taney, declared that all blacks, slaves as well as free, were not and could never become citizens of the United States. All right, so once we can't be citizens of the United States, then birth certificate got nothing to do with us. License got nothing to do with us. SIM card got nothing to do with us. Passport got nothing to do with us. Anything that these modern Europeans made up that they're using to identify quote-unquote black people doesn't make them a citizen. Because they can't be citizens of some foreign whatever. You can't. You better know who you are and be that if you want to be a citizen of something. You're not going over there to be a citizen and then think that you're going to have some better life or something like that. No, they're still going to treat you like dumb nigger. Because if you really knew yourself, you would know that America, North America, is your land. And you've been here for thousands of years. And if we've been here for thousands of years, then obviously we're here before Europeans. So don't tell me any slave stuff. And we had government here. Like we said, some Moors, not from here, but knew the history, did a treaty, and told Europeans they can go to America and settle there to escape being put in slavery by some other Moors into Barbary. Nice to remember, that's 3 different Moors we're talking about. Talk about the Moors over here, have nothing to do with anything, they're just over here. The Moors that were under the Sultan, because it's an empire, you know, they're not going to places to see whatever. They already know that there's stuff over there. There's Moors over there. Right? And then the Moors who were pirating, because how come the Moors didn't just tell the other Moors, hey, just come on, just leave the Europeans alone. Like, stop this. Just leave them Europeans. Like, we have everything that we need. We're Moors. We pirating some Europeans. For what? You know, and they weren't gonna stop. So these Europeans talked to their boy. Hey, your boy's killing us over here. Like, you gotta do something. And that's what they did. Sent them over here. Because what they didn't want to deal with them. They were not going to deal with this stuff. Just send them over there. And then here we are. With you not knowing the truth about your nationality and birthrights. Because fraud's been trying to make you think that you're a citizen of something that is not a government and going or running you around in circles when, hey, these people are foreigners, you're indigenous to the land. Now what you gonna do about it? Then if you're gonna sit there and stare at the wall opposed to do something, then you know, I guess that's your lot in life. Right? You have to trust that Noble Ali wasn't a dummy. Trust that he wasn't a dummy. He knew what he was doing. And what he did, nobody even come close to what he did. People who look like us. You know, other people have taken what he did and they, you know, they made millions. They became the man. Right? So your own's gonna sell you out. So just make sure that you're studying for yourself. Right? Make sure you're studying for yourself so that you can know. You don't want to make any assumptions. You don't want to be guessing. You don't want somebody told you something or whatever that you want to check for yourself. Just so that you know. You know, so you don't play yourself. Honors to the few faithful Moors. Study, study, study. Study, study, study. Expand your aura so you can connect with other like energies and get some work done. Honors to all the mothers. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide that are faithful. Only the faithful Moors get honors. Honors to all the Moors in the chat. Peace and love, Moors. Islam.
You sat down and you attacked the master teacher because you thought you heard something that you didn't hear. That's the first violation. You don't come in. First of all, you come in and you act like you come in peace, but you don't. You got an agenda.
Moors are men upright, independent and fearless. Dogmatized, dirty Moors, tongues cut out, left earless. Cause they never listen. Dirty Moors, keep up your slander. Wu-Tang torture in your ass, hot hangers. Kidnapper, dirty Moor, torture him like Saw. 3D, 0.5 or 1 through 4. Or get it like 5 or 6 with a fez on jigsaw. Leather face in a turban, rip dirty Moors lips off. Disrespecting the mother Raz Mariah Bay. Wrap him up like double crochet, the barbed wire way. Throw him off a bridge or feed him to the piranhas. Yellow journalists more spread nothing but propaganda. Idi Amin Bey, treat the temple like Uganda. Dirty Moors like foreigners, crushed to dust like ganja. Not worthy of being Moors, we call them dirty in the Jesus. Solomon Seal spell command 72 demons to get you.
This is what the temple guys actually say. that Canaanland is not a part of North America. Canaanland is bigger. Yo, it's ignorance, man. I mean, come on, you're talking about the same landmass. Canaanland is actually bigger than the landmass they know as the corporate United States. Almost twice as big. And if they had any sense, they could just go to Google and they can type in North America and find out North America goes all the way up to Greenland. But they're ignorant. They don't want to do that. They just dealing off emotion.
You might hear horse voices, see frog faces, and hoots for feet. Demons who run with spitfire with gold wolf teeth. Keep playing, forget back teeth. New Moors are an issue, get Ginsu. Maybe a dream visit from Vishnu, a nightmare to never end and always continue. Cold as an igloo, dealing with my trust issues through vigilance. Active Moors are militants, SPLC dirty Moors call that sovereign citizen. Lying for views, they notice all the empty pews. Benz need gas and fixing, but not enough dues. Pigpen Bays sell you out for peanuts, claiming that we nuts for teaching birthright street level, keeping it beating us.
To any members of the MMTA that's out there listening to what I'm saying, please get it through your head. I don't have a problem with the MMTA. I got issues with
Kendrick Lamar, stay surrounded by feathers. Dirty's guilty of fraud and duly scrutinize their ledgers. Getting proclamations from Morocco, disrespect us. Corporate city only recognize people's court jesters. Hand in their back, Moorish puppets and minions. Never get the human rights recognition like Moors near Virginia. Commonwealth, for active Moors knowledge, the Commonwealth. Dirty's claim more, but really on the straw man help. Authenticating a birth certificate, that's not significant. Civil little more two status syndicates. In more face, watch them two more status Indians claiming Turtle Island are lying, so intricate.
long days and long nights. But this message needed to be heard.
We got rituals for damn near anything you want to do, and we can give them to you tonight.
Chris V. Still get it from the intellect reservoir. Cosmic surfing, these two sons of God didn't come from virgins. Ether makes up these gods. We rode light angles to the earth plane. Again trapped in skin, but a different name. Monads, been here since Ruth and Moabs. Thought you killed me when Drew and Marcus got toe tagged. That's why I'm here with the Grand Chairman of Fear. Truth make you think critical like severe. Doing the God things, I make ancients appear. And all I'm hearing is knocking while I'm watching a seer. Ancient rituals and sound healing notes through Pro Tools. Eye to eye transfers knowledge, you need no schools. Waking up the masses, music is class's stage. Most fail cause they look like the flying shades. Following demons possess Kanye's and Lil Wayne's. Expecting a hippie with a cross and a Greek name. In a melanin calls me D&B, the late cup with no cheese. Orisha's in me, I'm not what you don't see. Not one of those armchair revolutionaries. Allah's in me. Sick and tired of being sick and tired, but that's just where we get our strength, man. The Christ is in me. I'm not a hustler, pimp, gangster, wankster, but trust me, they all in me.
I got it when the moon shifted the tomb in the melanated womb, sipping milk in the honeydew and triple black boom. Touchdown, traveling on planet Earth where we crush clowns, while I'm managing this curse and preparing the elixir that turns copycats into kitty litter. These poor pussies pretending to be misters. I cannot sin, but I can be very sinister. My limitations are limited as I do a lap around the galaxy. Had to gather light and rally back and fuck the fallacy. And cause of that, I got labeled the antagonist, and it didn't help that I cuss and bun cannabis and bun candles and wear symbols of Orishas. And I put a hex on the heads of 7 preachers with one trailer spit aimed at the pulpit. Crush the crucifix, a whole tabernacle backflip. I'm not Catholic, but if I choose my bare resonance, you may just catch a glimpse of Lucifer's semblance. Up and down Jacob's ladder with my melanin, the vessel of no fear none. You can find the devil in.
God's in me, I say that's so serious. Turn a nigga to a god, show you I'm serious. Iron got them proclaiming, name changing and facing with no guilt or fear. All these clansmen masons, we stand on squares, circumscribe our own circumference. Goddess Lakshmi bless me with abundance of prosperity. I speak with clarity, not to confuse. Put Moorish in front everything from Christians to Jews. I'm the anchor, so I don't listen to news on some snail type vibrations making me snooze. Calling a pauper to call down our UFO crews. Like Yahweh or Dogon shamans, we call on Ra Amen. For sun ritual, spiritual, I'm physically trapped. Rewind, play back, and get your pioneer tap. Like Gregory Hines, when I'm spitting the rhymes. A&Rs want me to blow, but all rights reserved when we sign. In the melanin calls me DMV, the late cup with no cheese. Orisha's in me, I'm not what you don't see. I'm not one of those armchair revolutionaries. Allah's in me, sick and tired of being sick and tired, but that's just where we get our strength, man. The Christ is in me. I'm not a hustler, pimp, gangster, wankster, but trust me, they all in me.
Alright, so let's polarization. Omagumu, Olensu, Shumala, Okija, Chiaja, Cheola, Alcala, Locayo, Kakamo, Lalila. I need some Lara shades. Issa, Manu, Naku, Mana, Imatu, Tupi, Juba, Jumba, Egati, Kasimbo, Nizala, Isala, Abilu, Kazulu, Zuba, Numaresh, Babylonia, Ida, Ayo, Everett, Ragma, Notario, Maru, Retu, Nitu, Yahalo, Hele, Latin.
Means death, but y'all blind and deaf and can't read truth you can't find. Miss Drew Ali lessons waiting for Jesus. Teaching lies as competence, nigga doesn't mean niggas. More doesn't mean black, it means more bite. And high priest of a new, holding the marvelous light. 7 orbs in our palm, we are ancients returned from the line of roots. Skin looks like brass burned, hair looks like Zoroaster, face of an Olmec. Sundial is my watch, FOH with your Rolex. Major not minority, no clicking heels like Dorothy. Flames on a strong man, no joining their sorority. Blind and deaf and can't read truth you can't find. Miss Drew Ali lessons waiting for Jesus. Teaching lies as competence, nigga doesn't mean niggas. More doesn't mean black, it means more bite. And high priest of a new, holding the marvelous light. 7 orbs in our palm, we are ancients returned from the line of roots. Skin looks like brass burned, hair looks like Zoroaster, face of an Olmec. Sundial is my watch, FOH with your Rolex. Major not minority, no clicking heels like Dorothy. Flames on a strong man, no joining their sorority. Great Seal is not Illuminati but Moorish. Disrespect Moors and we might get boorish. We're in our own land, fam, don't call me a tourist. I use the floor more, fine tuning my auras. Let them know that I'm back in the booth, back for the youth. Words coming out of mouth is the truth. Let them know that you're back in the booth, back for the youth. Words coming out of mouth is the truth. Let them know that I'm back in the booth, back for the youth. Words coming out of mouth is the truth. Let them know that you're back in the booth, back for the youth. Words coming out of mouth is the truth.
Get your foot up off my ottoman. Empire built for an ottoman. Never mix me up for them other men. I'm writing with an iron pen. Good life and not a gym. Born in the empire, not in sin. Moorish American, round table, boys ordering. I am feminine and masculine. Principle, rights inalienable. So I'm able. Now Cain wants to kill me. Biblical. My brother who pretends to be brotherly. Try to put me back in slavery. Confederate flags under my cherry tree. Washington cut it down, but Washington is still in me. Moors, yo, I speak the tongue, uplift the blind, the deaf, the dumb, and everything is mine, use some. Legislative act, municipal outcomes. Animal farm, I see the reruns. Nation never cared for a president. Judo in a turban, that's evident. Major not minor, that's permanent.
Let them know that I'm back in the booth, back for the youth. Words coming out of mouth is the truth. Let them know that you're back in the booth, back for the youth. Words coming out of mouth is the truth. Let them know that I'm back in the booth, back for the youth. Words coming out of mouth is the truth. Let them know that you're back in the booth, back for the youth. Words coming out of mouth is the truth.
Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious. Money is happy when Moors are happy. Vixens wink fake lashes trying to trap me. 40 days and nights battling the lower demons. This is not the land, hybrids can't be free men. If this is not their land, who's the immigrant thinking they're sovereign? Imagination figment, recessive is their status, lacking pigment. Game for the Thanksgiving, but no commitment to indigenous Moors they conquered with Bibles. Signs in the vitals and signs in the cycles, only to strangle, embracing my rivals. Free national standards, not playing with the tribals. Each Moor is their own Christ, not disciples. Whether hands or thoughts, no worship in idols. Always carry my Moorish Quran or recitals. Everyone will not process ancients' arrivals. Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious.
Mystic ability to show and prove a lesson, coupled with the agility to move you with the message, presence of divine mind to navigate you with a reference, urgent with a purpose, perfect. Emerging urban legends, real more is not a question or a choice or a preference. You are who you are, you should have the same obsession, broke the same jewels to a dude, the corner, Jane and Western. What you reppin', all that effort, that direction, keep you separate in a world of blind sheep. I was born to be a shepherd, mind like an elephant. Got the paws of a leopard, means I'm wise and I'm strong. Crank you up like I'm a record, take you to the body shop, correct your lies to true vector manifestations. Matter, energy, and mind, spirit men unsung. Trey Young dropping dimes until you tighten up, you catching splinters from the pine. Clean the clouds out your thoughts, that's what keep you in the bind.
Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious. This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask. Tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water. Watch their lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with Moors they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallets, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring. Then the mason confesses he's at 33 degrees. Now the convo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
He tried to get you to think again. That's the prophet. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this. I'ma write with my pen. Violate me and I'ma send rinse again. Remain cautious, cause often it's in again. That's in the police out is the silence men. When they bust through your door, you won't breathe again. Nationality will show you how to live again. It can change the predicament you're living in. You can heal the whole world without medicine. Only truth can make you a better man. Why lie? Cause you got paid to murder men. Then you try to lock them up when they riot in. That's okay, cause for freedom I'm diving in. With no knowledge you come back to die again. Resurrect me not, cause I'd rather be one with Allah.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Happy holiday, Moors. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Supreme honors to Noble Drew Ali. Let's make sure we give him his props so we don't get our lightning bolts and all that stuff. Honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Supreme honors to the Prophet. Give thanks to Noble Drew Ali for us knowing the truth about our nationality, that we're not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian, or any of the other labels. That we know the truth about our nationality and our birthrights. That we are not Negro, black, colored, and anything else. Honors to Noble Drew Ali. Honors to him. Nobody else gets any honors. They're calling themselves leading somebody or leading some people. As far as these Asiatics in America are concerned, they better not have anybody else that they're talking about repping before Noble Drew Ali. The honors to him. Supreme honors to him. Forget Supreme Grand whoever and chair whoever and council or whatever like that. Forget all of them. Forget all of them. Honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. None of Thomas Drew, Timothy Drew, Professor Drew, the adept and all that. None of that. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to him. And just remember, anywhere you go at your domicile, you should be able to look and see the Prophet looking at you. You should be able to look wherever you are at your domicile. Look, and there should be a picture of the Prophet looking at you. Keep you straight. Not trans. Gwynn Park man found guilty for firearm possession. April 19th. What is it? 21st right now? Okay. George Edward Neal Bay. Found guilty April 12th. One felony count firearm possession with a felony conviction. 4 handgun-related misdemeanors, traffic citation, driving with a suspended license. Jury found Neal Bay not guilty of 1 count of resist or interfering with an arrest. Jury turned to verdict about 5:15 p.m. on April 12th. after Neil Bay, who was representing himself in the case, originally elected to testify, but then declined to testify, according to a copy of the hearing notes obtained by Southern Maryland News. Neil Bay also motioned for a judgment of acquittal that was denied by the court. Neil Bay was one of 2 individuals arrested after a traffic stop November 13th, 2022, turned into a scuffle. According to charging documents, officers with the Charles County Sheriff's Office had stopped a silver Kia Optima in the area of Port Tobacco Road and Valley Road because of lapsed insurance. The driver of the vehicle was arrested. The vehicle was towed from the scene, and the remaining passengers were instructed to call for a ride. Now keep in mind, remember the video when we told them they should have stayed on the other side of the street and they want to play Consular guys and go over there? Remember, they had the car there still. Remember, the highwaymen were dealing with them. And then they went over there, and then the highwaymen corralled them and kidnapped them. Yeah, that's the video that they're talking about. When they say they had them stop by the road and they told them call for help. And who they call? The Moorish Consulate, whoever's. That we've been told you before COVID, anything consulate is a fraud. Been told you that it's a fraud. You know what your Moors are saying? No problem. Do your thing. We're going to be over here, and all we're going to do is give honors to Noble Drew Ali. I ain't giving anybody else any honors because nobody has proved themselves worthy for honors. So Drew Ali gets first dibs of honors, and then it trickles down from there. You ain't worried about who's getting it after Noble Drew Ali. We're dealing with Noble Drew Ali. Just like somebody sent me something with Joel Benjamin talking about, no, yeah, get your money out the bank. Look at all this stuff that's happening. Get the money out the bank. Nobody listening to Joel Benjamin because he studied Noble Drew Ali too. And he lectured with Taj Tariq Bey and all that stuff. Had Moors on his platform and all that. So how come he didn't say in his... Yeah, Noble Drew Ali, that should be the first thing they said. Noble Drew Ali said, get your money out the bank in the 1920s. What year is it now? And you don't see the same things going on? Things been going on for 100 years. That the place is bankrupt. But the dummies in North America, who this is their birthright to have whatever it is that they want here. But they don't want that. They want to play Negro black colored games in direct violation of the laws laid down by Noble Drew Ali, who Allah sent. So if you go against him, you're going against Allah, which means the judgment that you get, don't look at white man and the colonists and whatever that did it. Check yourself. Because more than likely you played yourself, which is why you're getting judgment right now. Because you played yourself. Intuition already told you, and you're going to play like you ain't going to listen to that. You're going to go over here and you're going to do your own thing. All right. Don't get mad after. Just learn the lesson and keep it moving. We told you people that the consulate people are a fraud. Now we don't know who this Moor is, right? Like, I don't know this Moor personally. I don't know who individual is. But I know for a fact that modern Europeans don't have jurisdiction over Moors. And the only way that they do is under color of law. And that's the only way that they could do it. So when you see stuff going down like this, You don't be looking at that and put that on all Moors and then stuff. You see, the Moors got arrested and now they got this, so that does not be a Moor. No. Good try, though. Good try with the BS. Good try with the BS. Juali is who gets the honors. Not concerned with anyone else. So we told you, the consulate people are going to get you in trouble. You talk about oh yeah, they got a card from RV Base, so they got arrested. Okay, well, what's this then? What's this? What's this then? What do you call this? What do you call this? Neil Bay and Lamont Maurice Butler. Ain't no L or nothing like that. Of Washington, D.C., later arrived on scene in a black Mercedes SUV. Both Neil Bay and Butler were wearing clothing items connected with the Consulate General of Morocco, a group of Americans claiming to be under the jurisdiction of the Morocco Consular Court, according to enforcetheconstitution.org, a website dedicated to resources for Moorish Americans. Hold on a second, but I thought you just said that Consulate General of Morocco, a group of Americans, but then their website is dedicated to resources for Moorish Americans. Well, I'm Moorish American. I don't use that website. So what you mean? What you mean by that? Because I don't use enforce the Constitution and Consulate General of Morocco and all that stuff. That has nothing to do with me. I'm Moorish American. We've been saying that we have nothing to do with these people. Don't try to put us with them now when we've been told people FOH for the consulate BS. It's for foreigners. You need a consulate for when you have an empire. You need a consulate for. You have an empire, you want a consulate. What sense does that make? What sense does that make? Everybody's singing happy birthday to you, bringing you a slice, a cake instead of the whole stuff, and you're not looking at something's not going on. These people are playing games to try to get you confused with some BS. Because guarantee you wouldn't have went and researched and found this article about these people getting their time. And then the enforce the Constitution people, they're not going to talk about it because then it makes them look like a fraud. Watch. See if they talk about it. See if they update the website and talk about their people just got everything denied. You remember, it's denied by a fraud. It's not denied by some legitimate de jure anybody, right? Whoever kidnapped them and has them, they're a fraud too. So don't think this is some riding with colonists or something like that, because we're talking about these Moors here. These are the same Moors telling you 3,500 to 7,000, and then we're in the chat while they're live asking them, well, hey, what about the 3,500 to 7,000? And they don't want to say what they're doing with all that finance. What they doing with all that finance? Oh yeah, they got a Benz though, right? They got a Benz. They got a Nazi sled though, right? They got their Nazi sled, and you're riding with them, aren't you? Didn't you people ride with them? Because we saw Taj and Dr. G with them, so that means that they're legitimate. You can't tell us that we can't. Oh yeah, well look, theirs got trapped up now. Now what? Now what? Now what? What are you going to say now? Because remember, we've been telling people for years, Noble Drew Ali, priesthood is dead. We don't play grand whatever. Some people vote me to be Grand Sheik, fine. Then I guess I'm Grand Sheik. That's just what it is. Right? But priesthood is dead. Moors run the Moorish movement in Canaanland. It's the parents that run the children's school. In some organizational whatever. Some parents said, F this, we will educate our own children. And we're going to have school on Saturday. Because we want to educate our own children. The Grand Sheik sign off on something and all that. These people are saving themselves, save their offspring, so that they can enjoy life. And not be bothered down by all this madness that's going on. So don't get it messed up when you look in our direction. We've been repping for Drew Ali. None of these traders were putting their Noble Drew Ali days online and all that before we were doing that. Nobody was calling all the master teachers to do Skypes and lectures and all that stuff. The hell out of here. And we don't dick ride any of our master teachers or anything like that either. So don't see because you see them eat a pork sandwich or something like that. That means that I eat pork sandwich too or something like that. No. What the hell are you talking about? What's master teacher eating a pork sandwich have to do with me? Well, that's your master teacher, and it. So, what's that have to do with me though? Like, what are you talking about? Why don't you go talk to him over there? Why don't you go talk to the master teacher over there if you got an issue? Why you go live and talk BS about the master teacher? Why don't you just call him up? Why don't you just come on the thing every Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Thursday, just call in the thing, push 1, and air out your BS. No, they're not going to do that because they're all traders and sellouts. And their whole purpose is to divert you away from Noble Drew Ali. Keep you far away from him. Put you in any direction except toward Noble Drew Ali. Right? These are Consulate guys. These are Consulate guys. Neil Bay is scheduled to be sentenced June 9th, 2 p.m. before Charles County Circuit Court Judge William R. Greer Jr., for all you Moors like to research and stuff like that. William R. Greer Jr., Greer, Greer. Butler was originally scheduled to go on trial on April 19th. Peep this game. Butler was originally scheduled to go on trial April 19th, but his trial was reset to a later date. He is due for a status hearing on May 3rd before Charles County Circuit Court Judge Donine M. Carrington Martin. Donine, D-O-N-I-N-E, M. Carrington, double R, Carrington Martin. Now it's interesting that there's one more who was with them in the Nazi sled that pulled up and all that stuff. He about to get sentenced, but then the head guy's in a status hearing. Why wouldn't both of them work together? Why won't both of them have a status hearing? Because Moors know that if there's any type of court, whatever, That's the loophole. Status hearing. And that the status hearing is not on the floor. Status hearing is let's go in the back. Now are they going in the back because he's their boy or something like that? Because I don't get how one Moor is going to get sentenced and then the other Moor is getting a status hearing. But the one that's getting the status hearing is the head guy who, if he gets out on a status hearing, then that's going to give momentum to the consulate, whatever. And then nobody's going to pay attention to this Moor who got kidnapped, the Bey who got kidnapped. Because remember, they're talking about Lamont Butler and all that stuff. They ain't put no Bey L or nothing like that on his name. How come they got Bey for him, the other Moor who got kidnapped? But then, hold on a second. So the Moor who got kidnapped and is going to sentencing is a Bey. And then the one who got the status hearing is not a Bey? Am I? Because with a status hearing, then the Bey, should be the one getting the status hearing, and the one without the status is supposed to be the one getting the sentencing. Because they don't have jurisdiction over Moors in the European courts. The only way they do is under color of law. That's the only way. So why didn't both of them get a status hearing? So when the agent gets out, remember you heard it here first, right? And they throw away all this stuff, and then they come out, and then, see, we told you that the consular jurisdiction is the whatever like that. And then they start beating the chest, doing the King Kong and all that. Just remember where you heard it first. That he got out on a status hearing. And if he got on a status hearing, then the Bey should have definitely got out on a status hearing. Or at least had a status hearing if the no Bey is going to get a status hearing. Or the status hearing is just some BS. And they're going to put him under the jail too. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. But everything that's going on is fraud. Know that. From the defendant to the plaintiff, you name it, it's all fraud. Which is why we told you, don't mess with that stuff. That stuff is for foreigners. Foreigners have jurisdiction in those affairs. Because you're starting to talk about some treaty and all that stuff that they ain't got nothing to do with you. I think we can say Noble Drew Ali is our prophet, not Muhammad. You tell them more. Who's your prophet? They start talking about Muhammad and all that stuff as their prophet. You already know that they're off. Why would Muhammad be your prophet if you have Noble Drew Ali? Ansari Qadiri Rifai Tariqa Sufi order aqrtsufi.org. We call God Allah because there is no gender implied in this Arabic appellation. Allah can have no gender because that would be a limiting factor. and Allah could have no limits. We believe that God is omniscient, omnipotent, and is the uncaused cause of all creation. Allah is without limit in every dimension, infinitely and eternally, the formless creator of all forms. Allah is neither created nor can he be destroyed. The one thing, and then they put the gender he, right? The one thing in the universe we know of that cannot be created or destroyed is energy. Energy can be understood as the capacity to do work, as the force that is behind all action, and as action itself. We know energy as kind of light force, as that which radiates and that which is radiated. It is both substance and movement. Sufis believe that Allah is the fundamental energy which has existed before all time, because Allah is both uncreated and the creator. We understand Allah as the conscious energy of the universe, the one who contains infinite knowledge and power to act in whatever way he wills. Allah defined in the Holy Quran is the light of the heavens and the earth. Just as we understand that light is energy, we conceive of Allah as energy. Allah as pure energy is formless, but contains the potential to create all forms. Allah's power is at once the energy used to create all forms and the energy substance of forms. For Sufis, Allah's inherent quality of awareness, his comprehensive and eternal consciousness, is another aspect of the light by which he describes himself. There can be no God but Allah, because the existence of any other power would limit God, who is without any limit whatsoever. With further investigation in the concept of Allah as energy, another notion emerges. If Allah is both the substance and the creator of creation, there can be nothing else but Allah. There can be no space where Allah is not, because that would imply that something outside of Allah exists. Thus, from the Sufi perspective, nothing exists but Allah. AQRTSufi.org. Study, study, study. Study, study, study. They never told you Jesus' justice was a Zen master. And Noble Ali is the man for making us study all true and divine prophets. All true and divine prophets. Now remember what Noble Ali said. If you judge a man by what he looks like, you already burnt yourself up. So let's take in the Zen master. The Gospel of Thomas. Look for the living one while you are alive, so that you will not die, and then seek to see him, and you will not be able to see him. And Juali told the Moors that one day you're going to be looking for good Moors and wouldn't be able to find them. Now this is how they break down that little 3 lines in the Gospel of Thomas. This one is difficult. Find the living force of life now and know eternity. Do not think that you can just wait until life is over and then automatically go to heaven. The current religious teachings of the day taught that the goal of life was to live a good life in the eyes of God, who watches from above the clouds as laid out in the Jewish laws, so that they may go to heaven above the clouds and see Jesus after. Early Christian teachings sounded more Buddhist or Zen. Jesus taught that we lived our lives over and over until we found the kingdom. Then we joined it. This is much like the Groundhog Day movie with Bill Murray. Jesus was saying from his disciples to get rid of your idea that you can just follow earthly rules and ride your time out and eventually end up there. You need to go ahead and seek it and find it now. If you don't find it, you will have to try again in another life. Once again, he was trying to separate his disciples from the Jewish beliefs they were used to. He's the king of the Jews. Why is he doing that? If he's the king of the Jews, then why is he making the disciples separate from their Jewish beliefs? Quote the Buddha: "Long is the night to him who is awake. Long is a mile to him who is tired. Long is life to the foolish who do not know the true laws." Jesus said, "Blessed are you when you are hated and persecuted, and they will find no place where you have been persecuted. If the masses know your beliefs, they will persecute you. Fear not, for it will be to no avail. Find what I am leading you into, and there will be no you that can be persecuted. Bottom line, you are not your ego, nor are you your body. You are the light itself, and it is impervious to damage. Find the light within, join with it, and you are free from egotistical and bodily destruction." Quote, "Consider the sunlight. You may see it near, yet if you follow it from world to world, you will never catch it in your hands. Then you may describe it as far away, and lo, you will see it just before your eyes. Follow it and behold, it escapes you. Run from it and it follows you close. You can neither possess it nor have done with it. From this example, you can understand how it is with the true nature of all things, and henceforth there will be no need to grieve or worry about such things." Huang Po. Foxes have their holes, and birds have their nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head down and to rest. Gospel of Thomas. First, it is the Zen concept that animals do not have the intellectual mind of humans, so they live a life that is straightforward. They live as their nature dictates, in the present moment, with no dilemma over what they should be doing, where they come from, or where they will go after death. They live in the present with no regrets of the past or anxiety over the future. They exist as existence dictates, so there is no great anguish. Human beings, though, have a mind that tortures them relentlessly. We find no rest. We fear death but don't enjoy life either. We both want to know and have to know who and what we are, but our analytical minds block us from finding our true nature. Thus we are tortured continually. It is in the central anguish of being human. Finding oneself is a must for any hope of happiness, yet it can't be found with the level of cognition we have been given. This is the great dilemma of man, that once seen, know thyself, creates the great doubt that leads to liberation. The second meaning is that the lower animals of this world are stuck in this world, at least for now, until their consciousness grows and they enter human form in future carnations. But human beings have the ability to move beyond this world, even while in it. There is no place for a true human to lay his head, for he exists beyond this world of matter. This is the home Jesus has found. It is non-material. There is no head and no place to lay it if there was. Quote, we dance around in a ring and suppose, but the secret sits in the middle and knows. Robert Frost. They said to Jesus, come, let us pray and fast today. Jesus said, what sin is it that I have committed, or wherein have I been overcome? But when the bridegroom comes out of the wedding chamber, then let us fast and pray. The disciples are once again trying to revert to the accepted practices of the day. In this case, prayer and fasting. Jesus is again rebuking them for not understanding that this way is completely different from the old way. Jesus is accused of being a glutton and a drunkard since he doesn't fast and pray. Jesus is telling his disciples that they still haven't understood him. They are still stuck in the old way, the outer rituals, instead of simply looking within. And there's Sakina Moore again. Looking within. They are still trying to please a God and lives above the clouds and looks down over them. Jesus goes on to say that prayer and fasting is supposed to be for the forgiveness of sins. He hasn't sinned, so why does he need to pray and fast? The Zen master. Jesus goes on to say that prayer and fasting is supposed to be for forgiveness of sins. He hasn't sinned. So why? Why does he need to pray and fast? This is similar to a verse in the Gospel of Hebrews where Jesus does not wish to be baptized. These are all external acts and for sinners. The important thing he is trying to remind them is to find the kingdom within. They are missing the boat. They are still viewing God as a personified entity that can't be known, only prayed to, in hopes of favoritism in this life and the next. Instead, the kingdom is a state of mind and one that can be reached here and now. Connection with the source is the one and only thing you need to be concerned with. Once you have found it, the bridegroom coming out of the wedding chamber is the analogy to enlightenment. Then you can do those things if you like, but they aren't necessary. Eid Mubarak to all the fasters. You know, it's party tonight. Party tonight. Get something on it. I don't tell you it's no good unless you perform this or that practice. Observe the precepts, the laws, read the sutras, holy scriptures, and the records. Do meditation. Once you've affirmed the Buddha mind, found a kingdom that exists within all of us innately, then you can all do as you please. Once you've affirmed the Buddha mind, once you've found the kingdom of heaven, once you've found the land of milk and honey, once you've found the golden gates and once you found all that stuff that exists within, don't forget that exists within part. Once you find, once you affirmed, once you embraced and accepted that all that stuff that you're looking at or outside yourself is already within you, innately, then you can do as you please. Then you're free. That's why Moors are free now, dude, because they honor the Prophet. They honor themselves. If you like doing meditation, do meditation. If you want to observe the precepts, observe them. Banke. Jesus Christ, Zen Master. Zen Master from Guns N' Roses or something. the Aerosmith Zen Master. Let's get one more in there. Let's get one more. Okay, make sure you have found it before you start trying to lead another. You will know when you have found it. Don't let your ego get in the way. Don't try to look more accomplished than you are. You got the vests and the badges and the... Don't let your ego get in the way. They got the flag that they made, and then they got the podium, and then you're thinking that these must be the Moorish, whatever. Don't let your ego get in the way. Don't try to look more accomplished than you are. If you are still in darkness and you try to lead another, neither of you would find it. It is all about actual experience. Experience is the kingdom. And you won't need to take anyone's word for it. Once you experience it, nobody could tell you jack if they didn't experience it. Too many haven't experienced it to know what it is. Do not believe in anything simply because you have heard it. Do not believe in anything simply because it is spoken and rumored by many. Do not believe in anything simply because it is found written in your religious books. Do not believe in anything merely on authority of your teachers or elders. Do not believe in traditions because they have been handed down for many generations. But after observation and analysis, when you find that anything agrees with reason and is conducive to the good and benefit of one and all, then accept it and live up to it. The Buddha. Yeah, the Jesus is a little bootleg. Jesus is a little bit pale. But it's not about the image of it, it's the message. No, it's about the image. This is a BS Jesus. But it's a good read, though. It's a good read. The read is good. The read is good. What you seek after is within you. Happy holy day to all the Moors. Honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Let's get Drew Ali up there. I looked over and saw him looking at me. So let's get his picture up there. He was looking at me. Let's get his picture up there. Here's Jesus. How Jesus looks. There's Jesus. Cherry curl. Oh my gosh. I just started Prophet Noble Drawley. I see you looking at me. Honors to all the boys in the chat. Peace and love to all the brothers. Can't breathe either. Same night about Islam wars. And the knocking.